Welcome everybody to our monthly new moon gathering. We have changed what we're doing a little bit, so I'm going to go through the slideshow. I'm going to go ahead and start off with our announcement, and then we'll get started with the evening. So we'll go through it here quickly. So again, it's going to be important going into 2020. If you want to be a part of our monthly Zooms or lives, so to speak, they're going to be featured in our Moon Gatherings Facebook group. So you definitely want to join that. And how you get there is www.joinmoongatherings.com. So super important. If you have not done that, this year, please do it this month. How's that? And the next gathering will be for the full moon, and that will be, that's the third Wednesday of the month, and that is Wednesday, November 20th. If you are not on our webinar notification list, which also will give you the recording as well, this is the URL to go to. If you don't know who our astrologer is at this point, it is Ralph MacIntyre. He is an evolutionary astrologer and astrocartographer. His website is www.astro-map-links.com. And then you have a special through the end of this week, correct, Ralph?
Yeah, I'm doing a reading special.
Okay, so will you post
that? You can get that on my Facebook page, Astro Map Links Facebook page.
And then will you put that that link in the group, in the Moon Gatherings group?
I will
Great.
Do that.
So also what he also offers to our group is 50% off his complete world map. And so that makes it $25. This is for the person who has everything, or a person who's interested in astrology, their chart. This is a great present for $25, and they'll be absolutely fascinated with it. So we'll be running that through Christmas. And then I am Brenda Bailey. I am a Theta Healing Master. I've been doing Theta Healing for about 14 years. If you want to know more about me, I have a directory listing. I'm hoping for the end of the year, you'll be able to go to my website again. And this is the URL. I also talk about Theta Healing and explain it. I have a YouTube video. This is also, all of these links you'll get through email after this, if you are registered for the webinar, and they are also always posted in our Moon Gatherings Facebook group. So if you're not able to take a picture, you can always find the links there. And then also about what I offer, because I offer different aspects through Theta Healing with my training and everything else. I've been doing this a while. So if you like the downloads, I do downloads weekly in my Blast Your Beliefs Facebook group. So you can join that by going to www.joinblastyourbeliefs.com. Once again, our Moon Gatherings Facebook group, to join that, it's joinmoongatherings.com.
I'm feeling all of a sudden deficient of Facebook groups that I can get people to join, Brenda. I never knew I had a deficiency in that until just a moment ago.
Ralph, it's okay. I just have two. I just have the one that we have and the other one. My goodness.
I don't have any. I just have the one I share with you.
You have the Moon Gathering, exactly. So what more do you need, Ralph? What more do you need? So here's the big announcement, right? I'm going to go ahead and do it like this so you can see both of us. It feels like we're both telling you. And we look very Brady Bunch. So Ralph and I have been talking about what can we do going into 2020. We have loved doing these. It's been great. We have great fun with it, but we feel like that we can offer you more. And also part of it, to work with our schedule a bit better, we offered it twice a month, and it feels like we've been missing, like the new moon just happened and yet we're telling you about the new moon now. And then when we talk to you, I think it'll be, right around the full moon. But we always seem to be a little bit off with our schedule. And although the information is good, the downloads are great, it's very relative, we felt like that we would adjust our schedule to where you'd be getting this information before it happens. What a concept. So we are going to be changing this in December. So we have this new moon, and then we have the full moon, which will be in 2 weeks. And then we are going to do our monthly, which will be for both the moons, the planets, the stars, the energy.
The astrology of the month.
Exactly. The astrology of the month.
Except in December, it's going to be the astrology of the next year.
Oh, hey. So that will be the third Wednesday of the month. And that's what we're going to be going towards. You're going to be hearing about the year and
Yes.
January. Okay. And so this will be posted in the Moon Gatherings group. We're allowing you to have this experience, and then it will be a monthly charge. And I promise you, if you participated in this, you know that it's been an amazing information as well as downloads. And we just want to have it available for the people who want to come. So you're going to be able to see what the new format is in December and make a decision. It'll be free in December. And then in January going forward, the Moon Gatherings group will just be for the people who have paid to be a part of it, $20 a month to be able to get information for the whole year as well as the whole month, right? So in December, you're getting it for the whole year. And we'll be getting a landing page for that and adding more information. We just wanted to let you know what we're going to be doing moving forward, right? So again, free tonight, free in 2 weeks, free in a month from there. So this will give you plenty of time to decide whether or not this is something that you want to do. And again, we also will have an affiliate link so that you can invite people and be compensated for, right? So just to get, that's the information now going forward, and let's get to what you're here for. So I will change it back to where you can be just seeing Ralph once he speaks.
I guess it's my talk. Brenda's got her mute button on, so I guess it's my turn to talk. Welcome, everyone. So we have a Scorpio new moon that happened on the 27th of October. So we're just a few days, but generally with the cycles, it's the new moon cycle starts, and then it's actually 6 months until the new moon in Taurus to kind of end the cycle. So this information will follow forward well. And then I'm going to talk a lot about some of the other things that are happening that are going to be very pertinent this month. So Scorpio at its core is the great detective of the zodiac. It wants to know what's true. Scorpio wants to know what's true regardless of how uncomfortable it makes people. It's the one energy generally when I talk to people who have a lot of Scorpio, I basically, like myself, I tell them that Scorpio energy is not for everyone. And the reason why Scorpio energy is not for everyone is that not everyone's capable or able to handle shocking truths and still be able to function in the world. Some people kind of, there's that old saying of ignorance is bliss, meaning if you don't know it, it can't affect you. On the other hand, Scorpio is kind of the opposite energy. It's like ignorance is like kill me, idle chit chat, gag me with a chainsaw is kind of the Scorpio motto. So right now the sun's in Scorpio for the month. Venus, Mercury, and the moon we're in Scorpio. I'm going to say Venus is in Sagittarius at this point, but it started out in Scorpio. And so Scorpio beyond being the truth seeker, it's also a very relationship-oriented sign. And it's not just the normal relationship, it's the soul level bonding, it's the sacred sexuality, it's the bonding that kind of brings us closer to the divine. You know, it's like where I begin and where I end and where you begin, that line. With Scorpio energy is kind of like blurring it, letting it disappear. And so with this new moon energy and the Scorpio energy, we're diving deep into what is the real truth behind things. And so as this happens, this particular new moon is opposite Uranus, like almost exactly, which is this fairly significant fact. So the new moon is at 4 degrees and Uranus is at 4 degrees. So there's like a real tight interaction. So the sun and the moon are sitting opposite Uranus. So Scorpio, one of the downsides of Scorpio energy is it can be intense. It's not necessarily a calming energy. It's like, let's look at what's true. Let's talk about what's true, regardless of what it makes you feel, you know? And so a lot of times heavily Scorpio people will be like, oh, you're too intense. Get away from me from that conversation. I want to kind of relax. And so opposite of Scorpio is Taurus. And Taurus's primary mode is to calm down. It's to relax. It's like, you know, one of the ways in which we talk about Taurus energy is like, can you eat it? Meaning, does it feed you? If it doesn't feed you, does it really matter? You know, and Scorpio is kind of the opposite. Scorpio is like, of course it matters. If it's real, if it's true. And so there's this tension between the sun and the moon and Uranus in Taurus. And interestingly enough, Uranus is the kind of energy that's about unique self-expression and also kind of a rebel in the sense that it wants to express itself regardless of how it affects other people. So there's a way in which this Taurus Scorpio is in tension, but Uranus is a little bit more in line with the Scorpio energy. And the moon's a little bit more in line with the Taurus energy, meaning that Uranus is kind of wants to be real, wants to be expressive. Now, Uranus hasn't been in Taurus for very long. I want to say less than 6 months at this point. When it was in Aries, there was a lot more conflict because people are like, this is what I see as true, and let me get in your face Aries style. So now that Uranus is in Taurus, it's more, this is what I see as true, but let me share it in a way that's not so disruptive. Because a lot of times Uranian energy and Scorpio energy will kind of blow things up. It's like, I tell you the truth regardless of what happens. Well, in theory, that's a good concept. In reality, that can be a very challenging concept, you know, especially when you're looking at relationships. So the other thing that's happening right now is that Mars is in Libra, which is another very relationship-oriented sign. Mars is how you assert yourself. It's your warrior aspect. It's how you deal with fear. It's appropriate action. So Mars is interacting with this Saturn-Pluto South Node that I've talked a lot about. And it's interacting by a way of a square. And so to kind of take all of this and distill it down to what's going on for us all collectively is that we're looking at how our structures help us in relationship. And you know, a lot of people had either relationships start or relationships blow up or relationships start and blow up all at the same time. So there's a lot of tension.
Can they just end without blowing up?
Well, yeah, they can just end without. I can't help but I need a little dramatic flair. Come on, Brenda. I mean, yes, they can just end. I have yet to experience that myself, but I hear tell that that is possible. No, that's not true. I've had some mellow breakups, so to speak. Um, so part of what's happening is we're all being asked to look deeply at some of the subconscious things we bring into relating with others. You know, Capricorn is about the structure of life, how we structure our life. You know, Capricorn on its negative side has a little bit of a fear based reality, meaning it's like, oh, let me take care of this now so the future will be good, you know. And on the higher level, that's really good thing about Capricorn. On the lower level, it's like if you're constantly worried about the future, you're not living in the moment. If you're constantly like constraining things for the future, you're not allowing the moment to unfold and the reality of what's happening in the moment to have room to expand. So Mars sitting in tension with Saturn, Mars in Libra, ruled by this Scorpio Venus that is asking us to look deeply. You know, Venus is what we're attracted to. And when Venus is sitting in Scorpio, the avenue that's kind of lit up for us all, what's attracting us, what we see as beauty is truth. It's deep bonding connection, the desire to be connected with some other soul, to have my heart connect with your heart, and us to merge on that level. And so that Mars in Libra, very relationship oriented sign, square that Saturn, it's like, okay, so how is the structure of my life? How am I asserting myself, Mars, interacting with my relationships? You know, and part of the reason why people are getting into relationship is that Mars energy. And part of the reason why people are getting out of relationship is that Mars energy. Meaning that Mars energy is kind of asserting, kind of like, yeah, I want a relationship now, you know. But then the other aspect of Mars, it's like, I want a relationship now, but this relationship isn't working for me. And sometimes you can go into the relationship and have it blend or bend or mold into a way that's more conducive to what you're looking for. And sometimes the relationship just needs to end in a calm way. Well, we won't project blow up on relationships. Brenda was correct in saying that. And so part of what's happening is that because this is connected to the south node of the moon, Capricorn, and the north node of the moon in Cancer, a lot of not only this lifetime's baggage, but past lifetimes' baggage is interacting in this situation. So, you know, one of the, you know, one of the standard kind of jokes about relationship is, you know, men marry their mothers and women marry their fathers, or, you know, we all get together and it's our little two inner childs try to figure out who's more wounded, or, you know, it's like we, let's just say we bring all of our luggage with us when we get into a relationship, and how we sort that out, how we let go of it, how we either projected onto the other person or not projected onto the other person. You know, with Mars is about appropriate action, you know, and as I can say appropriate action with Mars, actually hitting that gold standard of appropriate action is almost nearly impossible. People generally fall under the, oh, I'm not going to make a scene, I'm not going to make a scene, I'm not going to make a scene, and then boom, I'm going to make a scene. Or, you know, let me kind of say no, let me, you know, have a limit, let me have a limit, kind of, you know, and then the other person's like, you're strangling me. And so a lot of what's going on here is this working out all of this thing as it goes with relationship. So this Scorpio energy interacting with Uranus really wants you to express your unique true self, connect deeply with others. And part of the connecting with deeply with others is being real. It's like, this pisses me off. How are we going to deal with this? It's like, you snore, I'm a light sleeper, or whatever. You leave your clothes on the floor and it just drives me bananas. I'm not your mother. I'm not your father. All of these things are kind of unpacking. And if you're in relationship, the more you can deal with these, the more you can kind of identify what's going on for yourself and not project it onto the other person. The more likely your relationship is going to survive this tension, and then the other aspect is also with Capricorn. It's like, dealing with what's yours, but also having the fortitude and strength and saying, this isn't me. This, you're bringing this forward. I'm not going to let you project this onto me. I'm not going to blame you for it, but let's discuss this. So simply put, right now, there's a lot of energy tension on us this month and last month around relating with others, connecting with others. We're moving into this holiday season where we get connected with family. And generally there's a lot of tension there. Some people, it's like, some people want to connect with family and can't connect with family. Some people don't want to connect with family and have to connect with family. Some people's family actually nurtures them, and some people's families are kind of caustic to them. And all of this is unfolding. And then there's a huge amount of society pressure put on us. Oh, what are you doing for the holidays? Kind of. And so as all this unpacks, and we're also kind of very freshly off of this, really deeply looking into the past life structures and how they need to unfold or let go of. There's a lot of energy that we're dealing with. And so I find, especially with working with people right now, it's just kind of help them understand that, yeah, this is a pretty powerful time. You're going to have a lot of feelings. Be careful not to overreact. Be careful not to underreact. It's like that balance of appropriate action. All righty. Well, I think that's kind of what I have to say. If there's any questions, or if anyone wants to put any of this in a house for me, other than that, we will let Brenda and her beautiful hair go next.
My beautiful ponytail? Yes.
I said beautiful hair,
Thank you.
I'm not stupid.
Thank
Your mom
you.
may be. No, I better just like.
Gotta watch out, man. Because my friends would point out on Facebook.
Let me mute myself real quick before I put my big ass foot in my mouth.
You said it. I did it, Mom. Just saying.
I didn't say anything. I said your mom, and then I realized that she was a very wise woman. See, so there's that Mars in the truth speaking gets you in trouble when you're not watching.
Exactly. I wanted to we did have somebody that asked a question about, when we're going to start charging for this. Again, we're just going to do it once a month. We'll do, like the whole month. So it'll probably be about an hour and a half. And that'll include like the downloads and everything that you see, except that we're going to be more specific and really talk more about the whole month versus, just the new moon or the full moon, which we do part of that anyways. And, but it's free in December, and we won't start charging until January, right? So we want you to understand like what you're getting, right? And how it will change. So just want to let you know that. Okay. So don't be concerned. And also, again, the recording is always available right now through YouTube. So you can always catch it. That will change. It's not going to be available, you know, in starting in December. It will not be available on YouTube for everyone. So, you know, we're just getting some different ways that we're sharing it with you that work better for us and hopefully for y'all as well. We feel like it would be a win-win. We're all about win-wins. So
yeah, and the plan is to give you the astrological information so that you can make the appropriate choices as the month comes forward. And it's going to be kind of I think it's going to be a really valuable and exciting format in the sense that you'll have an understanding of what's working and what's not working. And then with Brenda doing the healing, kind of getting rid of all the blocks,
right? Getting you better prepared for the month. Yeah,
for the month. And because this next year is going to be a very, very dynamic year for all of us. So we're feeling like this is going to be a very valuable thing to help people in our group.
So stay tuned.
Enjoy
so I just had somebody that was having to get off, wanted to know about the recording, wanted to know, and I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and let everybody know before we, you know, we move on. And again, we're just excited that y'all join us every month. So just to let you know, so Theta Healing, people can tell me how they think and how they feel. What you create in your life is what you believe, and we hold those beliefs on a cellular level. So a lot of people who have heard about belief work. It's about like changing how you think. And we just find that it's way easier, much more effective. You'll see a lot more changes quicker, easier, better by just changing it at a cellular level. And then that changes your thoughts as well as your emotions. It just really is pretty profound and powerful. So the thing is that I can't do any work unless you say yes out loud, and you'll be prompted with Ralph. And it's not like I need to hear you say yes out loud, but you need to hear yourself say yes out loud. The universe, God, whoever you believe to be your higher power needs to hear you saying yes out loud. Your brain needs to hear you saying yes out loud. So it's definitely an important piece. So not to beat a dead horse here, but it's definitely important for you to just say yes out loud. And if you're in a public place, just say it low, but just say yes out loud. And I always make sure, because I do see some new phone numbers and names, that people have 3 basic beliefs in place. And those are, I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and an instant healing is possible. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So this is what we're going to work on. This is what I heard, and then I always let Ralph pipe in at the end if he feels like I missed something. So we want to, so with Theta Healing, we can remove, I always tell people, a lot of us have suffered from a lot of trauma. And what ends up happening, like Ralph had said earlier, we just pack our bags with it and we carry it with us. And we refer to that from a Theta Healing perspective as free-floating memories. So what I do a lot of is remove free-floating memories from the original event. So maybe we have a behavior or we do something, and you may say, oh, I know something like that happened when I was a kid, that's the reason that it happened. But a lot of times the reason that it happened as a kid is because we either inherited it from somebody and we brought it into this lifetime, or we've had a past life with it and we brought it into this lifetime. So whatever you believe, or whether you believe in past lives or not, it's okay. But that may not be the first one. That may not have been the first time that it happened from what you can recall. So we always want to make sure that we go to that original event, we neutralize it, and then it allows the change to come in to now. Okay, so that's what you're going to be saying yes to. All right. So here we go. As I move this a little bit better to where I can see it. There we go. So, well, one, we want to, and then also when we deal with obligations, means that we don't have a choice. So I want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that we're obligated to want to know what's true. So you have a choice. Because sometimes we already know it. We don't have to have the need for it, so to speak. So I just want to free that up for people. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that knowing the truth is uncomfortable. We also want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having discernment on what matters. So what's for our highest and best? What matters? And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from understanding what is the truth. Because we know that there's our version, there's somebody else's, you know, our mom, you know how that is. And it's like, but what is the truth? We want to be able to operate because that's the most objective, neutral place to come from. So let's go ahead and do those first. So if you'd like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
And another thing that I forgot to mention is that if you like missed part of this and then you watch it later, or you come into our Facebook group, the Moon Gatherings, and catch it, whether or not you are participating in this live, as long as you are saying yes out loud, you're getting the downloads. That's what we call these, okay? So don't be worried like, oh, I didn't catch it live, so I'm not getting it. Promise you, you'll get it. Let's see. Let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevents us from knowing and expressing our unique self-expression. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that were obligated to have disruption. But we also want to get creators, God's definition of disruption, and being in alignment with it, know what it feels like, that it's possible, and that it's safe. Because, you know, there's that new buzzword going around as being a disruptor, right? Which changes how things go, typically for the better. So we don't want to give it, you know, we want to be, again, we don't want to like make it a bad thing. It's not. So we want to make sure that we have, again, that objective definition that's for our highest and best. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from asserting ourselves. So we also want to get creator's definition of assertion, because some of us may not exactly know and are in alignment with that. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that it's a sin to assert ourselves without fear, right? So we don't want fear to be the motivation of why we're doing this. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
Let's see here. let's go ahead and get Creator's definition of relationship. And let's get Creator's definition of structure. And then let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having structure in relationships. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that a breakup or a change in a relationship is catastrophic. That one's for Ralph, but y'all can say yes as well.
Can I start saying yes now?
We also
I'll just mute myself and just go on my mantra of yes, yes, yes.
We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from looking deeply into how we relate with others. And let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that it's a sin to relate with others at a deep level. Let's see. We want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from being in the truth and in the flow of our relationships. And we want to remove the free-floating memories from the original event that obligate us to stay in the ones that no longer serve us. And that we can get out of those with ease and grace.
How about something about seeing them clearly, like seeing what relationships are good for us clearly in the beginning? That would be a good one.
So let's remove the free-floating. So let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that obligate us to repeat the same mistakes in relationships. Okay? Because that's typically where that comes from, is that we're not really taking the lessons, understanding what we've gotten, you know, and doing it differently. We just, you know, again, do that definition of insanity. Repeating the same behavior, expecting a different outcome. So let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that we are obligated to do the definition of insanity. Right? Let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that that's our norm. Right? And then let's also remove the free-floating memories from the original event that we're obligated to learn only from our mistakes. Right? So maybe we could do something right and learn something, you know, something good, something positive. It's not that it just has to be all the negative stuff that we learn our lessons from, or that's the only way that we can learn, or that we get our lessons and our gifts, right? So we want to change that. If you'd like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, 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 yes.
So let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from taking appropriate action. So whether that's starting something, ending something, maintaining, however that is, whatever the appropriate action. And so let's remove the free-floating memories from the original event that prevent us from having discernment on that appropriate action. Let's also, so everybody has an original wound, right? So when we talk about that wounded, you know, inner child, that wounded inner child, there is an original wound that they all are based off of. Now, you don't need to know what that is. Again, so what we're going to do is remove the free-floating memories from the original event that created the original wound for your inner child. pretty profound. So just say yes out loud. Let's do those too.
Yes, 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 yes.
And then just to cap that off is let's remove the fee-footing memories from the original event that obligates us to project in our relationships. So if you'd like that change, just say yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Anything else you want to add, Ralph, that I did not cover?
I think we're pretty complete. I'm feeling pretty complete.
So once again, guys, we're going to be meeting in 2 weeks, right? For our last full moon gathering, and then going into the new format in December. If you have any questions, please feel free to post in our Facebook group. Again, that's www.joinmoongatherings.com. So get yourself in there. Again, it'll be easier for you to understand what all's going on as we change the format. So does anybody have any questions or anything before we get off? Anybody? Well, thank you for everyone. Today. I know. Thank you for everyone. I know everybody's all like, I'll take whatever relationship work you want to do. So thank you, everybody who joined us for sharing it. You know, we have it on Facebook, so please feel free to share it. And we just appreciate y'all so much. And
yes,
we'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Have a good evening.